Now let's take a look at the fourth stage, oxidative phosphorylation. This is powered by the electron transport chain, or the ETC. So far, we've done a lot of work to just get a net gain of 4 ATPs, but we have stored a lot of potential energy in the form of NADH and FADH2. The big energy payoff is in oxidative phosphorylation, where we convert the energy stored in those molecules to ATP. We're now going to convert all of that NADH and FADH2 into ATP so the energy can be stored throughout the cell. Here's what we start this cycle with. So remember, glycolysis produced 2 NADH, it produced no NADH2, and 2 ATP. PD produced 2 NADH, no FADH2, but also no ATP. And the CAC, that cycle, produced 6 NADH, 2 FADH2, and 2 ATP. So we're beginning this cycle with a total of 10 NADH, 2 FADH2, and 4 ATP. When O2 is present, we get about 3 ATPs per NADH and 2 ATPs per FADH2. So how many ATPs would we have at the end of this next stage? Make a prediction and we'll check back later. Oxidative phosphorylation is powered by the electron transport chain. This takes place across the mitochondrial inner membrane. So here we have a diagram of the larger mitochondrion, and here is more detail, the outer membrane here. This is the inner membrane here. And then we have an even closer look at this inner membrane here. Let's look even closer. So now let's take a more detailed look at the energy transport chain. One way to think of the ETC is as a proton pump. The ETC transports electrons through chemical reactions out and then back through the inner mitochondrial membrane, or IMM, as shown in the black arrows. Here you can see the electron path is shown in black. The net effect is to pump protons from inside the mitochondrial matrix through the IMM into the intermembrane space. This is shown in the red arrows. The proton path is shown in red. The difference between the amount of protons across the IMM creates a proton gradient, which is used to power oxidative phosphorylation. The ETC generates no ATP, but enables oxidative phosphorylation, which accounts for most of the ATP produced. And here you can see there are more protons in the intermembrane space than in the matrix. For the first 2 billion years of life on Earth, anaerobic respiration, or respiration without oxygen, was the only means of obtaining energy from food. These organisms use the electron acceptors, nitrates, sulfates, and carbon dioxide to pull the electrons through the ETC. These molecules would accept the electrons at the end of the chain, forming dinitrogen, hydrogen sulfide, and methane, respectively. But then, the oxygen revolution occurred about 2.5 billion years ago, flooding the planet with oxygen. In aerobic respiration, the final electron acceptor of the electron transport chain is O2, forming water, H2O. Oxygen strongly attracts electrons in order to fill its outer shell. This stronger pull makes much more energy available to life, enabling the more complex food chains we see today.